Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Art Traveler. Today, I'm very happy to visit one of my friend's studio in our Vice President of HKIA's studio. Yeah. Good afternoon, Thomas.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah. Very nice to see your office. Yeah. I know that is before you set up your own practice, you have been full time as a lecturer in one of the architectural school. Can you tell us about this such an interesting experience about it?
Okay, thank you, Simon. I'm Thomas. Hi, friends. Actually, after my registration under the HKIA and the ARB as the registered architect in Hong Kong, I have a chance that a friend introduced me to teach in one of a local archi degree, which is organized by the GI College. And I think most of the Hong Kong architects after the examination or during the examination, they're more focused on the professional practice issues. But after that, I have a chance that come back to the school time to touch with the students to discuss about architecture in an academic way, which is very lucky and I think can refresh my mind. That time, so lucky that a client asked me, well, Thomas, would you like to work full-time on my projects, which actually is 4 houses in the peak level. So it's quite lucky that I can have a new building project initially. So that attracts me to change the job to set up a firm to, practice by my own. It's a renovation of Yuw Wah International building, office building, which I think most of you will know that there was a shop before which called Esprit, and now it's a Foot Locker at the Peking Road and the Kowloon Pit Drive. And the building is located there with a very good views to the cultural center and to the Victoria Harbour. And that building, actually, the podium is the shop that I mentioned before, but then the tower, which is a very conventional building with just small windows, and some of the back of houses are actually facing to a very attractive views outside. So the client would like to change the outlook of the building and make more people know the building. And at the same time, the efficiency of the building, which was just 16 stories with 4 lifts, which 3 passenger lifts and 1 cargo lift, which, the efficiency is not good enough. So by removal or changing the layout, or remove one of the lift and change the layout, we increase the usable areas. And with this chance, commercially, we can have a chance to do more design. As you mentioned, this is one of the exhibits in the 2019 Venice Biennale exhibition. And the topic by this year is about 100 towers. So the curator invited the architects in Hong Kong to design or to demonstrate their ideas about verticality and vertical architecture in Hong Kong. So for this project, which is referred as one of my projects in Hong Kong. So that project before development is actually a 6-story high post-war buildings without lifts, just staircases, but they have their own neighborhood characteristics. So this tower demonstrates now in the modern days, we increase the development density, we vertically stack up the residential space. So whether we can try to, for example, group 6 stories as a module and then stack it up, introduce the communal space in between to try to maintain the density or the scale of the neighborhood and still have a vertical higher density development to accommodate the populations. So that's the idea of this. As I mentioned before, this is referred to one of our realized project in Hong Kong, which is in the Sai Wan district next to Water Street and another Cheung Street, which is surrounded by 3 sides with good natural lighting and ventilation. So we designed this building, which is a composite building, and the podium with the commercial restaurants, F&Bs, and with the podium clubhouse, open swimming pool, and landscape deck for the enjoyment of the residents. And we have the vertical tower. And we always concerned about the neighborhood. So in this project, we capture the environment, capture the special, for example, the tram travel in the Saiwan districts with the motif and the forms that we put in the tower to make the building more relate to the neighborhood. So this is the idea of our design.
Okay. Thomas, I know that this project has won several awards.
Yeah, actually, it won one of the what they call Architectural Press Award in the organized by US that about the urban design category. So it's the winner of that year for that category. The extension in St. Paul Convent School in Causeway Bay actually is very interesting because the initial idea of the school is to enhance the courtyard space, beautify the courtyard space, and with some external factors, for example, the footbridge access, the elevated bridge from the Regal Hotel opposite side, there are some kind of privacy concern, and also there are some funding that the school would like to also contribute on the green education. So with the discussion back and forth with the school, we come out to build what they call later on the Smart Oasis building, which actually is a green architecture, including the education to the students. For example, we have the solar panels, which is directly orientated to the south to capture direct sunlight. And at the same time, for example, some features like the lift, we also introduced the regeneration power metering. So even the power we generate actually is very minimal, not much contribution to the actual power consumption, but it is very good education mode to tell the students that action in the society and in the building will have some kind of energy change or energy implication. So it's quite interesting project. Yeah.
Thomas, it sounds like you are not making a building for the school. You're making is a one-to-one scale teaching material to teach a student what is sustainable life, what is sustainable building, energy conservations.
Yeah.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, actually the school, I quite like it very much. And also the school is good to introduce also other environmental experiments to there. And for example, the robotic teaching education in the building. So it's quite interesting. And the building actually, as I said, orientated to the south and with the open area in the courtyard and the road, that we maximize the lateral ventilation, the use of lateral ventilation. And also because we would like to minimize the disturbance to the school, so we use the steel structures and to minimize the dust, the nuisance, as well as the construction period. Actually, talk about the architects in Hong Kong. As you know, I also connect with some international architects, like play some role in Acacia on projects. So I have seen a lot of Asian architects and overseas architects, and actually the practical experience of Hong Kong architects is very good, and we have a lot of experience to how to change the concept the design into in reality. So as you know, architect is the lead consultants. Most of the basic knowledge of other professionals we will understand, and we know how to manipulate the whole design. So I think in future I'm expecting the contribution of architects to Hong Kong society, and also the Hong Kong public should have more involvement, project involvement of Hong Kong architects to contribute a lot of our practical experience as well as our visions. And for example, like the residential development in Hong Kong, I'm always saying that because of the market change, that all the flat units now is just your bedroom. So your living room, your dining room, kitchen are actually outside the building. Is in the urban areas. So how can an architect give the views to beautify and enhance the urban environment so that the people can have even they are congested into a small unit, but still have a more healthy and happier living life. So it's very important. So I'm expecting more contribution and chances for architects to contribute.
Okay.